it's Hannah. So this one's a bit of a deep one, and it's not really anything to do with the fashion world. However, it does cover things that do go on in the fashion world, and it's something that is irritating me more and more and more by the day. Is funding and mental health is just abominable. It's mental health is so much on the increase, and more people are getting diagnosed with things, yet the funding keeps being cut, and to the point where it's you have to rank a certain criteria and to get help through the NHS, and even then there's an 18-month waiting list, and if you don't meet this criteria then you literally get told, sorry, you're not crazy enough. But how is that fair when somebody with a mental illness reaches out and asks you, I need help, and then get told, oh wait, sorry, you're not crazy enough for us, or then get told, okay, you're just the right amount of crazy for us, we'll help you, but let's set you on an 18-month waiting list. And some people get given treatments that other people know will help them, when, not to say that the other people don't deserve it, when the other people are not, attention seeking isn't the right word, but everybody has stories and everybody has their own battle, me included. I could write and talk for England about things that have happened, but some people are more private about it. But it just seems that nobody really gives a shit in terms of help, and you either need to have thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds of your disposal to spend on being placed into a private psychiatric unit, or you have to be on the brink of death. And this goes with eating disorders and depression and personality disorders. With eating disorders, you need to be the physical walking skeleton in order to even be diagnosed with an eating disorder. How is that fair? And that completely contradicts the known thing that an eating disorder is not a number on the scale. It's a state of mind. Most bulimic people tend to be of a normal weight or even an overweight category. And so are you going to say to somebody, because their weight is normal, if they come to you and say, I'm bulimic, I need help, are you going to say, okay, well, yes, you are bulimic, but you don't really meet our criteria? This is something that is ridiculous, the fact that you have to fit into certain categories. And I've got friends that I know need unreal amounts of help. They go to A&E all the time due to self-harm and stitches and overdoses, and each time they get told, you can go home, and they're not safe to be around themselves. Like, I'm not saying that they're at the point where they need to be sectioned, because that is different, but I am saying that mental health is on the increase and people need to be aware of it. People need to be talking about it, and people need to stop suffering in silence, because I think that, me personally, if I'd been open about it and if I'd spoken about the things that I was going through and the things that were going on, I might not have got myself into the mess that I did, and things might not have become so extreme as they did, but they did, and I'm getting help now. And if it wasn't for the help of my family and the friends that I've got, I don't know where I'd be. But I'm incredibly lucky in that sense. But some people aren't. Some people don't have the ability to go into private psychiatric units, and they just get told, sorry, you're just not crazy enough for us to help you. And crisis teams, they are just they're just despicable, because it's, you try and talk to them and you say, I need help, I know I need help, and you get shut down by them. And I'm not saying that this is for everyone, but the people that I know that have had to go through crisis teams, I just think that it's such an abomination, the fact that you actually get told you're not crazy enough. Like, I'm not saying everybody is at the level where they need to get admitted to a psychiatric unit, because I know that is a different level. However, to be told that you're going to get put on a waiting list, what happens if you take an overdose and die in that period? Suicide is going to become the biggest killer. At the moment it's heart failure and heart disease, but depression and suicide will be on the increase, because it is. Because more and more people are trying to take their life and are taking their life. And this is a subject that I do feel so angry towards, because I don't understand why the funding keeps being cut, and it keeps being cut when there are so many young people, young adults and even adults that end up going into hospital, get treated within 2 to 3 hours, then get sent home when they first came into hospital because they'd taken an overdose, or they'd self-harmed to the point they needed stitches or it being glued. What makes you think that them being in a hospital for 3 hours is going to do anything? If somebody comes into hospital because they have said, I have taken an overdose, I need help, surely sending them back. And I know that it's not the doctors and the nurses' fault, it's the fact that funding keeps being cut. And it's just, people need to keep talking about mental illness, and people need to keep facing up to the fact that it is real. It is a real thing that people fight with every day. It's the point where 1 in 4 people are suffering from a mental illness. The age of people with eating disorders has lowered and lowered to the point you get 9-year-olds with anorexia. 9 years old. And it's frustrating for me, because it's always that fear when you have a mental illness that people are going to shut you down, because it's not a physical illness, you can't see it. And sometimes it's really, really difficult to say what's going on in your head, because even sometimes you don't understand it. And it's not like you've got a broken leg and you can see it. But just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's any less there. Mental illness is a terrifying thing, and it is on the increase. So people need to be talking about it, and they need to be asking for help, and not accepting the fact that you get told no, you're not crazy enough. Because what happens if you get to the point in your illness when you're almost too sick for treatment? Because that does happen. It gets to the point where people are too far gone in the illness, when they're so close to death that recovery is almost an impossibility. I'm not saying it is an impossibility, because there are cases where people have been told they're too sick for recovery and they do recover. But the fact that funding keeps being cut and cut and cut, and more people are dying from different mental illnesses, and the fact that borderline personality disorder is dismissed automatically by crisis teams. Some people with this condition, crisis teams won't even see them, because they have that on their record, and it's not viewed as a mental illness. It's a personality disorder. You grow out of it. It's not bipolar. It's not schizophrenia. But it's something that does go on inside people's brains, and it's frustrating, the fact that so many people are suffering in silence, and they shouldn't be, because other people are going through what you are. And it's a case of speaking out and just tell people if you're going through something, because there will be somebody that cares. And I know this has been a long video, and I know it's not really anything to do with fashion, but it is something that I do feel needs to be spoken about. So if anybody has any comments or anything, just write them in the comments below, or if you need any help or advice, just let me know and I will try my best to answer it. But honestly, if you're suffering, don't suffer in silence, because you are not on your own. There is always going to be somebody out there that will help you, be it a friend, a family member's parent, because I've had that, where a best friend's parent has helped me. It doesn't need to be somebody who's biologically close to you. It can be anybody that you trust. So if you are suffering, don't suffer in silence, because honestly, it's not worth it. Because when you are on the road to recovery, life becomes so much more. Trust me, I know. So thank you for watching, and I will be speaking about fashion and things that I know that I should be speaking about, but I do feel like this is a topic that needs to be talked about. Okay, bye.